Hi everyone, my name is Karim and I'll be your host for today's webinar. Thank you very much for making the time for joining our webinar today. I would like to give special thanks to all the teams that got involved in preparing for this webinar, our marketing team, as well as our technical team. Um, Today's agenda for this webinar, we're going to be walking you through some of the latest meeting room trends, as well as we're going to walk you through few multifunction rooms that we implemented in our HQ here in Taiwan. We will show you a video of ATEN War Room. If you visited ATEN before in HQ in Taiwan, you've probably seen it. If you haven't, then we'll give you a short glimpse about it. Then we'll show you a floor plan of our latest multifunction room, which is now implemented in our HQ. Afterwards, we will show you some footage of the room as well, and then we'll walk you through a full introduction of all the equipments that we used to implement the room itself. Within the equipments, we'll give you a full rundown for all our video inputs and outputs, our video matrix range, our latest presentation switcher, as well as our control system, which controls this entire room. We'll also give you a quick brief about how we manage the audio in the room, and then we'll show you and share with you some success stories. And then at the very end of the session, we'll be taking our Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can write it down, and we'll be getting back to it by the end of the session. Okay, so a quick rundown about the latest meeting room trends. We can all agree that in the past 10 years, the meeting room evolved from normal chalk talk behavior where people show up in the meeting and start writing on whiteboards and share information together into a new age of equipments and how people react and interact in meeting rooms. So in modern meeting rooms, you will find a lot of video conferencing system. People want to see real-time reports, as well as you can broadcast this information out to multiple locations through conference system. So in meeting rooms right now, we all expect more people to show up, and with more people showing up, everyone have prepared his presentation on his laptop using PowerPoint, and he expect to come in, connect his device, and share this content to everybody attending the meeting. Which give us, of course, the other challenge of more interfaces, which means everybody can bring in his own device. Each device has its own interface. And you can see here in the interfaces, you have many people want to connect by USB. Some old PCs have DVI or VGA. Newer PCs have mini DisplayPort and DisplayPort. HDMI, of course, is a big player in it. And latest, you will find a lot of the latest laptops are showing up now with USB Type-C. So with all these different interfaces, you have the challenge of how can you convert and centralize the management of all these interfaces, as well as send this video signal to multiple different outputs or multiple different screens or projectors or whatever the display devices there in the room. There is also the trend of people ditching totally the laptops and now looking into using tablets, for example, to share their presentations with the audience in the meeting rooms, which means that's another challenge of having devices where you can present wirelessly and send the content wirelessly to the system. As well as the last thing is the ever-increasing multifunction of the room. So you will see also a trend of those multifunction room where you can use them in different uses, such as presentation, video conferencing, or even turning the room into a classroom. So in meeting room scenarios in general, we can just bring them down into three main different applications. The first one is presentation room, which you can see here on the right-hand side. This is a very simple meeting room where you have projector and displays, and on the seats there, you can see that anybody can come in, connect his device, and have his video output showing on those displays. Other one is video conferencing room, where the room is built for video conferencing, and the last one is the multifunction room. Today we will be covering more of the multifunction room, as right now we have two of them in ATEN HQ, and the first one we'll want to walk you through, this is our ATEN War Room. We call it ATEN War Room because this is basically where all our management meeting takes place, all our review meetings, and you can consider it a full-on multifunction room. As you can see there in the pictures, we have a lot of devices that are deployed in this room. And to highlight few, you can see there is a video wall by the size of 4x2. You can, if you look at the mouse cursor, you'll see like this video wall is 4x2, and then we have here on the top picture we have three different projectors, all projecting on three different projection screens. We have the main table here where we have all these microphones, as well as we have also HDMI inputs in all those boxes that you can open. You can connect any device at any time and share it with anybody in the room. Now, we will show you a quick video on this room, so please, you can double click on the video and you will be able to see the video in full screen. Okay, we're back. So, as you have seen, like in the video, the entire room is equipped with multiple devices from our portfolio of audiovisual products. You can see the video wall is powered by a lot of our equipment. Okay, so if you would double click again on the presentation screen, so you can have the presentation on larger screen at the moment. Okay, so again, like we have those three projectors. Those three projectors can display any of our systems. We use a lot of our reporting system, analytic systems. You can run our CRM system. And of course, the more displays are there, the more you can visualize during the meeting. So this is our ATEN War Room. So let's move on to our latest multifunction room, which today's session is about. You can see there from the picture, we implemented a very similar concept of the war room. However, this one is an open floor plan, which can be transformed at any time to have this room with a different function. If you're looking at our video right now, we have this corner for the presenter corner, and then later on we will walk you through the entire room to show you more videos of the room itself. But you can see in the presentation as well, we have a video wall that is 3x2, and then we have one side that is equipped with a projector. We have a large seating area with tables that are movable, so you can move it to turn it into a meeting room. You can some days turn it to become a training room. You can turn it to even become like an open space where people can just sit around and socialize. Now, let me walk you here in this next few slides through our floor plan and then the equipments we are using in the room itself. So if you look here at the floor plan, we have on the side I'm in here, this is like the presenter side. We have one display here connected so the presenter can visualize his presentation, as well as we have a few wall plate interfaces here where anybody can come and plug in his presentation device and be hooked up to the system. We have on the other side the 3x2 video wall, which you can see here. And then next to it, we have the moderator side, where you can see there our team helping us today. Then you have the entrance side. The entrance side is also equipped with a few interfaces. One of them is a control interface. Then you have the light switches and the AC control. And then again, like the moderator side there, we have two displays there connected all the time. And then next to it, you have our rack, which hosts all our equipments. That is the core for this room. Now, on the right-hand side here, you see we have a very large whiteboard. This is very useful when people here having like a brainstorming sessions and people want to have like a white space to write ideas. The left side, which basically I'm in right now, we have a projector as well as a 65-inch display. If we move on forward, this is just to give you a rough idea on how you can turn this room to multiple different applications. So the first one, let's say if you need a large space to host like a meeting room, you can have the table set up this way, which is the same way we're setting it up today. In other cases, you know, if you're having like sessions where you're running some competitions or you're running like different teams where they're brainstorming and coming up with ideas, this layout could be also handy. This layout you basically is turning the room into a training room, so everybody's facing the instructor. The instructor basically is seated where I'm seated right now, and on the other side you can have the moderators of the session sitting on that side. Okay, so now we walked you through like the floor plan. Let me walk you in more details into all our video solutions or that we deployed in this room. So if we look in deeper, we have two main components that are running this room. The first one is our VM 1600. This is a 16x16 modular metric switcher, but it's not a normal modular metric switcher. It comes equipped with a video wall software embedded in the device, and this is basically what is running our video wall here, which is 3x2. It also comes with our seamless switching functionality, and it has a multi-input and output cards. It also comes with our Red Dot Award graphical user interface, which through it you can manage the video wall and the video routing for the room. We also have the VP 2730. This one will cover it in next few slides. Right now, in the next few slides, what we'll be doing is we're going to be walking you through each and every device that is connected to our modular metrics and how is it connected. But first, before we do that, we are gonna walk you through the models that we have of the modular metrics and other matrices that can support video wall and seamless switching as well. So for modular metrics, we have two models. One is 16 by 16, one is 32 by 32. So you have the VM1600A, you have the VM3200. The VM1600A comes in 6U configuration in terms of rack space that it needs. The VM3200 is a 9U device. Now you can see here in numbers of inputs and outputs. Of course, you can figure out the VM1600 is 16 by 16, while the VM3200 is 32 by 32. Now for the VM3200, we have a very special feature in the graphical user interface where you can live stream all your inputs and outputs into the graphical user interface. You can visualize every single input and where you're sending it as an output. Now, since both of them are in modular design, you can see here all the inputs and output cards that we have. To start with, we have the DisplayPort model, which is the VM7904. This one is only an input card in DisplayPort configuration. Now for HDMI, we have inputs and output cards, and that comes in two different configurations. One of them supports 4K, and the other one supports up to full HD. We also have inputs and output cards in HDbaseT configuration. For the HDbaseT inputs and outputs, you can see we can support up to 4K. Now remember, when you are using the HDbaseT output card, if you want the seamless switching functionality and the video wall functionality, you need to always pair it with the VE805R or the VE816. Now the VE805 will support video resolution up to full HD, while the VE816 will support up to 4K. Moving on, we have also a DVI, D inputs and output card, as well as VGA and SDI in input configuration only. A few of the main features, of course, as we said before, is the seamless switching. You can have redundant power for those modular switchers. It comes right out of the box supporting video wall. And in terms of control, they all have an embedded graphical user interface where you can control it through. It also has a serial control either through DB9 or Phoenix connector for DB9 for RS232, Phoenix connector for RS485. You can also control it through IP by using Telnet protocol. Now we covered like the two modular matrix devices that we have, the 16 by 16 and 32 by 32. But in some cases, maybe 16 by 16 will be like oversized for your meeting room application. So we also have a wide range of video matrix switchers with video wall support and seamless switching as well that comes in smaller configuration. Now you can see here the list of the models we have. We have a 4x4 and 8x9 HDMI with 4K support. Then we have a 4x4 9x9 in HDbaseT. For normal HDMI with full HD support, we have the 4x4, 8x8, and 16x16. And then we have the 4x4 and 8x8 DVI. Now, a few things to highlight. If you are using HDbaseT, you will again need to pair it with a range of our HDbaseT receivers. However, if you need the video wall functionality and the seamless switching, again, you'll need to pair it with the VE805R or the VE816R. Another thing to highlight that those are all comes in fixed interfaces. So if you need HDMI, you just buy the HDMI model. If you need the DVI model, you just use the DVI model. Two of the models have 3.5 audio output. This will come very handy if you need the audio output out of these boxes. So we have the VM6809. It has an audio out, as well as the VM51616H. Now, if you are using any other model and you want to route out audio to a DSP or audio mixer, you will need to use our audio D embedder to do this application for you. In the next few slides, we will cover like the audio routing, and we have the audio D embedder in that schematic. So we will cover it in the next few slides. Okay, so right now, moving on again to, we talked about the main component for our video routing. Now let's see what devices it's connected to it and how do we connect it to it. So the first device we have here is our VE8212 EUT, and as you can see, it's right here mounted on the wall. It's a wall mount HDbaseT extender that comes with VGA and HDMI interfaces. Now it has a built-in switcher where you can switch either by the front push panel here. There is a touch button that you can switch through it, or you can enable the auto switching functionality. It can support up to 4K at 100 meter and up to full HD at 150 meter. It can also extend for you IR signal plus RS232. So you can use the RS232 either to pass through this signal to another devices, or you can even use the RS232 to control the switching functionality in this box. So since it is HDbaseT, you can connect it to any HDbaseT receiver, or you can even connect it directly to an HDbaseT enabled projector or display, or you can connect it to our modular matrix as we are using it in this room. So to cover a few other models that basically have the same functionality, we have the VE8212 UST. This comes in a US type wall plate. Then we have the VE8212 EUT. This is the model we are using here, which comes in EU type wall plate. And then we have the VE2812T. Now this model also have HDMI and VGA inputs with a built-in switcher that you can enable as well, the auto switching. So this model is very handy if you are using a floor box, or you are using a tabletop box or a cable cubby. This could help you extend the distance of those two interfaces through one single transmitter. Now you can see there in these three circles, we are saying like switch, extend, and convert. Of course, since it has HDMI and VGA, and you can switch between them, so it can work as a switcher. You can extend the distance up to 150 meters at full HD and 4K at 100 meters. And then you can convert the VGA and HDMI signal that are going into DVI or HDMI or DP. And to do that, you just need to pair it with a receiver at the interface you need. So as you can see at the bottom, we have like few of our receivers that you can pair it with. So you can pair it with any of the HDMI receivers, as well as you can pair it with the VE801R, which is in DVI. That's in the case that your projector or your display is in DVI. Or you can also pair it with the DisplayPort receiver in the case your display or projector is in DisplayPort. Now, of course, you can also connect it directly to a projector or a display that has HDbaseT, since this entire range is HDbaseT enabled. Now, another few things that we want to walk you through is the full range of our wall plate extenders. So in HDbaseT right now, we also have two new models that only supports HDMI, which is the VE1810 UST, and the other one is 1801 EUT. Now, of course, whenever you're using our HDbaseT extenders, we always recommend using our HDbaseT certified cable for extension. And then next we have our normal wall plate extenders, which covers also a wide range of interfaces. We have it in HDMI, DVI, and VGA configuration. Okay, so back again to our connection here and how things are working. You can see right now we are having the footage coming out of our rack. We have the VE2812 EUT connected through a Cat6 cable to our VE811R in the rack, and from there we have an HDMI cable running into our modular matrix switcher, the VM 1600. So as you can see, very simple connection, just a Cat6 cable running behind this drywall into the rack, and in the rack we just needed to connect one of our HDbaseT receivers, and from there we have a HDMI cable running into our modular matrix. Okay, so this is our first input. Let's talk a little bit about our other inputs that is going into the modular matrix as well. So right here, this room is equipped with two PTZ camera. One is Aver PTZ 330 and the other one is also Aver PTC 500. Now, those two cameras, you can see by the way we deployed them, we can almost cover every single spot in the room. So we want to broadcast or record the side of the video wall, we can use that camera. And we want to record or broadcast the side of the projector, we can use the other one. Now, since this side is where the instructor is always located, we have this camera, the PTC 500, is equipped with auto tracking system so that you can enable it and disable it at any time to track the instructor. Now, how is it connected to our modular matrix switcher? As you can see there, we are using the VE802. Now, the VE802 is one of our wide range of HDbaseT extenders. This one in HDbaseT Lite. The main reason we're using it right here is because we needed some more functionalities other than just extending HDMI signal. And you can see there, it extends also IR signal as well as RS232. Both signals can go bidirectional between the two sides. It also have POH support. Now, POH is power over HDbaseT. Power over HDbaseT is just like PoE, but it's over HDbaseT. Now, the main reason we're using it here so that we can reduce the numbers of powers we're using. So we deployed this VE802 throughout the room in most of the application, utilizing the POH functionality. Now, you can see here we have an HDMI cable running from each camera to our transmitters, and then a Cat6 cable running from the transmitter to the receiver, and then from the receiver to the modular matrix in HDMI as well. Now, since we touched down on our HDbaseT extenders, I want to give you a quick rundown of our full range of our HDbaseT extenders. Now, we have two classes of HDbaseT extenders. One of them is Class A and the other one is Class B. Class A extenders, you can see we have a very wide range of it. We have the V811, 812, 813, A14, and to just break it down really fast to you, the V811 is like the smallest factor model. It comes for extending HDMI only at 100 meter with 4K support and full HD at 100 meter support. It can support also long reach mode, which allows you to extend the distance a little longer than what's in the spec. Then we have the V812, the V813. This is a very special model since it supports USB 2.0. Now, if you are using it for the application of in classrooms or in meeting rooms, it's very handy if you want to connect USB signal to an interactive flat panel or an interactive whiteboard. This will enable the USB functionality to it. Now, then we have the V814A. The V814A, it comes also with some other special features, such as it have RS232 support, it have IR channel, but it also have an Ethernet channel, so you can extend the Ethernet signal from the rack to the destination that you want. It also comes with 3 outputs. So on the receiver side, you have 2 outputs which are duplicated, and on the transmitter side, you have 1 local output which you can route to any other devices out there. Then we have the VE816R. This one have an inbuilt scaler, very useful when you are using our HDbaseT inputs and output cards, or you are using our HDbaseT matrices. Then we have the VE1812. This one have POH, which can support up to 100 meter at 4K. So the POH, usually you will have the power source equipment, which is PSE, and then you will have the power device. Usually in all our POH model, our transmitter acts as a PSE, while our receivers usually is the PD. Then we have our latest model. This is the 1832. Now this model supports up to true 4K with HDR support. It also have a USB 2.0 channel, as well as RS232 and IR channel. Then we have the 2812T, which is, as we covered before, it has two inputs, HDMI and VGA, and it has an inbuilt switcher. Then we have the HDbaseT Class B. Now the Class B, as you can see, it supports shorter distance, but it also can support, like in terms of like the V802, you can have the RS232, you can have the IR, as well as the POH. Okay, so now basically we covered how the cameras are connected to the matrix switcher through our HDbaseT extenders, and we covered the full range of our HDbaseT extenders. Let's look at our other devices or our other sources that are connected to the matrix switcher. Now, as you can see there, we moved the camera to the moderator side. This is where the audio video rack is located. And you can see there, we have in the rack, we have a Blu-ray player, we have an Apple TV, we have two PCs, and then we have one more cable right there at the moderator desk, so that anybody can bring in his laptop anytime and connect it to it and move the signal to our modular matrix switcher. Okay, so now basically we covered all our inputs to our modular matrix. So now our modular matrix is receiving all these signals. Let's see where is it sending it. Now, the first thing we want to cover in terms of sync devices or displays that we have right here is our video wall. Now, our video wall, we have a 3x2 video wall that you can see there. We are using the BenQ PL552. We are using 6 panels of it. Now, you can see there, using our modular matrix to power this video wall enables you to have multiple layouts video wall. So you can at any time group it as a full video wall, or you can break it down into a different layout so you can visualize more sources on the video wall itself. So you can see right now we are switching between multiple profiles, and you can see that every single profile, you know, you can have a different layout that you can use during your training room usage, or your meeting rooms, whatever that fits your application the best. Now, if you look again on how all these displays are connected to our modular matrix. So from our modular matrix, we have HDMI cables from the output cards connected to our, again, using VE802 transmitters, and then we're running a Cat6 cable to the receivers, and from the receivers to each display we have one HDMI cable running there. Now, again, we are utilizing the power over HDbaseT, which means all the receivers behind the displays do not require a power source. They are powered through the Cat6 cable. We also have the IR and RS232 channels there that we could utilize to send RS232 signal to the displays to control the displays if we need it. But in this application, we are not using it, and we will cover the control, how we are controlling the video wall, and when we go to like the control breakdown. But again, the IR and RS232 can be very useful if you want to send control signal with video signal throughout the same Cat6 cable. Okay, so now we covered the video wall and how they are connected to our modular metrics. The next thing we are covering is the projector. Now, for the projector, we are using the Epson EP700U. Now, as you can see here, it's mounted up in the ceiling. You know, it's an ultra short throw projector. Um, and if we move on to the next slide, you can see again we're using the VE802 to extend the distance from the rack to the projector. Now, again, it's very handy using the POH functionality since we will not need an extra power for the receiver. And the IR and RS232 is also handy if you want to control your projector by serial control. Now, one thing you need to remember, if you will utilize this RS232 functionality in our extender, they all come in Phoenix connector configuration and only support RS232. So since you are talking about Phoenix connector, you will need to do your cable terminations at both sides properly. So in the case you have the control system connected here in the RS232 channel, on the other side, you will need to connect the Phoenix connector to whatever like serial interface the projector have, which is usually DB9. So you will need to do some cable termination, and then you need to make sure that your cable terminated properly and your pin assignment is as mentioned in the device you want to control user manual. So usually in the projector user manual, you will have in the RS232 control page, it will state for you the pin assignment. Okay, so now we covered the projector side. The other thing we want to cover is our 65-inch display. Now, this 65-inch display is an off-shelf display. You can buy any display and it will do exactly the same job. So how is it connected to the modular metrics? Again, we're using the same VE802 using the POH functionality. But in this case, we are using the IR channel because this display is not equipped with any IP control or any RS232 control. So we are using the IR channel to control it. In the control slides, we'll be covering that in details. Okay, so a few other displays that we have in the room. You can see there we have three more displays, two at the moderator side. You can see there. Hi guys, how are you? We have two displays there that the guys are helping monitoring the entire session. They are doing all the switching and broadcasting the video signal that you're seeing right now to you. And we have another display here on my side, which is I'm using to monitor my presentation right now. Now, again, for the display that is on my side here, we are using the VE802 because the distance is a little longer. The 802 is mounting up in the ceiling, and then it goes all the way down an HDMI cable and connected to this standard wall plate HDMI. And then from there is an HDMI cable connecting to my display here. Now for the other two displays, which is on the other side, we are just using a standard HDMI cable since the distance is not very long. Okay, now one important output that we're using in our modular metrics right now is going back into our video conference PC. And this is actually the way that you are seeing all the video you are seeing today, because we can switch any input that is going into the metrics and send it to this device. We are using for this one of our latest devices. This is a USB Type-C capturing device. This is the UC3020, and you can see there that there is one HDMI cable coming out of our modular metrics and connected to it, and from there we have a USB Type-C connected to the device or to the PC that we are using for the video conferencing or the one we are using for today's webinar. This, of course, enabled us to send you all the video signal you are seeing today through the platform, and enabled us to switch among many different inputs and send it to you at any time. Okay, so right now we covered all the inputs and outputs running into our modular switcher as inputs and what is going as outputs in the room. Now, another thing that we want to cover through in today's session, or one of the main components of our video routing in the room, is the VP2730. Now, the VP series is one of our latest series that we developed and launched for the audio video market. Now, if you haven't looked through it before or you haven't heard about it, please go check out our webpage and check out our latest information for this device. Now, a few of the very important highlight of this VP series. Now, it supports a lot of functionality, but some of the most important ones is the multi-view. Now, the multi-view will enable you to send many of the inputs that are going to it and put it in one single display. Another thing, it also supports audio mixing or audio mixer, and it supports streaming. Now, looking at streaming, this is a full new functionality that is basically not available in any other presentation switches out there in the market. And what you can do through it is you can send signal to it over a LAN network or even the WAN. So you can do like if you want someone to bring his laptop here and stream signal to it wirelessly, that's possible. But you can even stream signal to it over like cross locations from different location if you go through the and this is a very new function that we're looking into, and if you want more details about it, you can contact your sales representative, or you can even contact our partners in multiple regions where you can see a live demo for yourself. Okay, so speaking of the VP series, this is a fully new series that we had launched late last year and early this year. Right now we have two models that are released in the market and already shipping. We have the VP 1920 and the VP 2730. The VP 1920 comes with multiple inputs and outputs, and you can see here for the video inputs you have 6 HDMI, DisplayPort, VGA component, and composite. So it can act as a switcher plus a scaler at the same time. It has 2 HDMI video outputs, and then for audio inputs, you have, of course, the stereo input if you're using the VGA port. And then for audio, we also have a wide range of outputs that could be very handy for you to connect to any audio devices that you have. So we have an RCA left and right output. It's also equipped with a Toslink and coaxial audio output. Now, if we look at the VP20, there is a very important feature that I didn't cover for the VP 1920, that it supports USB keyboard and mouse. Now, this could be very handy if you use PCs in your presentation room, but it's also a great feature if you will connect it to an interactive flat panel, and it can allow you to switch between two PCs and having the USB connected to the interactive flat panel at any time with all the touch functionality enabled, as well as the video switching. It also supports picture-in-picture, preview, and so on. Now, for the VP2730, it also comes with 5 HDMI inputs, DisplayPort, VGA inputs. It does not support component or composite, but it has 3 video outputs, 2 in HDMI, 1 in HDbaseT. Now, another feature that is in the VP2730 that is not available in the 1920 is the audio inputs. It has more audio inputs. It have 1 balanced audio input, but it also have a microphone input that can support up to or can support normal dynamic microphone connection, or you can connect a condenser microphone with 48 volts phantom power. Now, also you have for video audio outputs, you have RCA, Toslink, and you will have the coaxial. Now, you have the stream in and out functionality as well as ultra fast switching. Then one of the game changer in it, I think, is the streaming in and out as well as the multi-viewing. Now, in the next few slides, we will show you how we are utilizing this multi-viewing functionality, um, and it also supports audio team embedding. Now, right now we're gonna run you quickly through like one of our latest videos. We will show you the video for the VP 2730, but we also just released a video for the 1920. You can check them anytime by clicking on the link below. Right now we'll play for you the video for the VP 2730. Please double click on the video to put it on full screen.
Designed for boardrooms, conference rooms, and lecture halls, or any kind of medium to large meeting environment. A multi-in-one solution to simplify AV integration and control that keeps your meetings running smoothly. Integrates all your different AV content sources into one compact box. And even includes bidirectional streaming between local and remote sites. Plus, with 0-second switching among sources, it ensures your meeting runs efficiently. Share and compare content with multi-view modes to inspire creativity and boost productivity. For a larger meeting, moderator mode allows you to control the output of display B discreetly and without interrupting the meeting flow. What's more, you can integrate with various ATEN devices to easily manage the meeting space. Simply show up and start presenting from anywhere, facilitating seamless distance-free collaboration. VP 2730. Also available for meeting rooms and classrooms, the ATEN VP 1920.
So this was the video for like the VP 2730. Now let's look quickly how did we connect it to our system and why is it important in the room. The main two functionalities we are using is the multi-view and the streaming in and out. The streaming in and out means anybody can connect his laptop wirelessly to the VP, send a video to it, and then we have 4 outputs coming out of the modular metrics running into the VP and 2 of the outputs running back into the modular metrics, which means I can send any signal in or out to those 2 devices. Now, this is very handy for example, doing the multi-viewing. So right now, Sabrina will help us show you like how the multi-viewing can be very useful, which means I can basically send to you a signal of 3 different things at the same time. Now I'm using it to send it, for example, to the GoToWebinar platform, but I can also use it on the projector. Since the projector here is always limited to 1 single output, sometimes it would be very useful to have 3 different outputs on the projector at the same time. And this could be very handy if you have a lot of people connected and you want to run 3 different presentations at the same time and compare between them, or you can even run maybe a reporting system here. You can run your CRM system, you can run your ERP system, and you can compare between all of them at the same time. So having this multi-viewing is very, very useful if you have only 1 projector in the room and you want to be able to send multiple videos to it at the same time. But as you can see as well, we just utilize it by sending to you like 3 different signals from our room at the same time. in today's presentation. Now, the same thing can be used if you are using it with, let's say, a video conference system. It can also send multiple video outputs to the video conference system input at the same time. Now, as you can see, like the VP on its own can be a standalone device that can run this entire room if the video wall was not required, you know. But since the video wall is required, we integrated both of them together. So each of those devices, the VM1600 and the VP7230, could be a standalone device to run a meeting room or a multifunction room like this. But then you need to decide what features do you need. If you want video wall, you can go to VM1600. If you want multi-viewing, you can go to the VP2730. If you want both, you can just integrate them like we integrated both of them here. Now, this is the full rundown of the connection for our video management in the room. And you can see here all the inputs and outputs. Always remember, since the VP and the VM1600 are both located in the rack, always remember right now that we have HDMI cable in 0.3 meters and 0.6 meters, which is very handy if you are running cables from devices to another inside the rack. It's much easier for cable management in the rack. Okay, now another thing we want to highlight, since we have all these extenders right there, we used our extenders rack mounting kit as well as our Lock Pro. Since HDMI does not lock, we have came up with this solution to be able to mount all these extenders on the rack using our rack mounting kit for extenders, as well as you can have all these lock for the HDMI cables. Okay, now we're gonna walk you through our control solution for our introduction for the room. So if you're familiar with our control system, we have a full range now of products. You can see on top here, this is for software aspect, and on the bottom, this is for the hardware aspect. Now for the software aspect, we have the VK 6000. This is the configurator software. Through it, you can configure and program those control systems to work in the room. We have the database generator, which allows you to create drivers for different devices. We have the firmware upgrade tool, which is a very useful tool for integrators, so that from one single platform you can upgrade the firmware for all the devices that are connected to the same network. We have the control assist. This is a fully new thing that I will walk you through later in the few slides. And then for hardware, we have, if you know, like the VK2100, 1100. We have two newcomers to the family. We have the VK0100 and the VK0200, which is a control pad. Everyone knows before that we have the control, the keypad, which basically through it you can control our control system. But for the control pad, it's a control system embedded in the keypad. And the next few slides will walk you through it. And then we have the expansion boxes. We have for RS, for serial, we have then IR, and we have relay. For the control app systems, we have, as you might know, for iOS, Android, and Windows app. And then we have two keypads, which is a standalone keypad that needs to be connected to our controller to control the room. So three things I'll touch down on, three main components. The first is control assist, because it's very new and it's a very handy product, very handy program that we just launched. And then the two new control pad. So let's talk first about the control pad. Basically, the control pad is the keypad plus control abilities. And if you look into the diagram here, it's equipped with two RS232 ports, and then it's also equipped with two relays, and then it will have a digital input, and it's PoE enabled, and can also control devices over Ethernet. So by one PoE cable there, you can just connect it, it will power the device, and then you need to run your cables to the different equipments that you want to control. Okay, so this is for the keypad with control functionality. The next thing I want to cover is the control assist. The control assist is the one of our latest programs that our product management team for the control system has just released. It's a fully new concept on how do you control your PC for meeting room application. Now, it's a very simple software. All you need to do is install it on the PC that is located in your meeting room and connect that PC to the same network where the control system is. Now, what it's going to enable you to do is a lot of great features, as you can see. First, you can browse files for PowerPoint. I think this is one of the killer functions in it, is you can, as you can see, this is an actual photo of how the control assist look like. And you can see there, you can control your PowerPoint, you can go next and like previous pages, you can preview all your slides before you can even present it. Now, imagine this, you can have this tool to control the PC that you are using for presentation. At the same time, you can control the entire equipments or all the equipments in the room. And this is a great feature that we added. The control assist tool is right now you can download it from our website and you can test it for yourself. If you have seen it before or tested it, that's great. If you didn't, you can contact you can contact your sales, or you can visit any of our local partners to see it live. Now, a quick rundown on our like control system family. We have the VK2100, 1100. Those two are full-on control systems. The difference is in the numbers of ports that are located in the device. Then we have the VK0100 and the VK0200. Now, thank you. Now for you can see here all the numbers of ports. One thing to highlight is for the VK2100, the VK1100, it comes right out of the box with 2 licenses for viewers, while the VK0100 and 0200 does not come with any licenses, but you can add licenses as you want if you want to control it from a tablet or a PC or anything. Okay, then we have the full range of our expansion boxes. We have the serial one, we have the IR/serial RS232, and then we have the relay. Now, all the serial ones here, they come 4 ports in DB9 configuration, and for the DB9 configuration, you can either configure it to be RS232, 422, or 485. You can connect maximum up to 8 expansion box of each kind with one single master unit of the control system. Okay, so for the control requirement in the room, you can see here we wanted to control a few things. We want to control light, microphones, projector, video wall, the AC, and the audio video equipment, which is all our ATEN equipments, as well as the camera. Now, in the next few slides, we'll be walking you through what did we use and how did we control each single device. So the first thing, we use RS485 to control the lights, and for the lights, we are using a relay box. As you can see, this is a WDH EZ 5645S. Now, this is a normal relay box, but what comes very handy in it that is equipped with RS485, and through the RS485 we can receive feedback from it to know which relays are on and which relays are off, and have the graphical user interface which we customized for the control system to get updated instantly. For the aircon, we are also using RS485 with bus protocol. Now, here in Taiwan, we do not use a lot of KNX, but if your AC supports KNX, right now our control system can also control it. Now you can see here how is the serial how is the relay box connected to our control system. We have 2 connections. One is the DC power 12 volt, which will power this box. The other one is RS485 at one side. Remember, you will need, if you are using RS485, you need to use the DB9 connector from the control system side, because the 4 ports that supports RS485 are in DB9 configuration. Now on the other side here, you see there is a Phoenix connector, and we have a terminated Phoenix connector to run into this port. We're using RS232 to control 2 devices in the room. One of them is uh, the VP and the VM 1600A. Now, for other devices that are controlled over IP, we used over IP we used over IP control for multiple devices in the room. We have 6 LAN connections to the displays to send TCP commands to it to turn it on and off. We have 1 connection, also a LAN connection to the projector, and we are using PJ-Link protocol. We have 1 connection, 2 connections, sorry, each to 1 cam using TCP protocol. We have our PDU in the rack powering every single device in the rack, and we are using Telnet to control our PDUs. Now, this is a full new concept in deploying an audio video rack, is using our ATEN PDUs. If you want to turn on and off the entire rack through the control system, our PDUs currently can do that. You just need to choose the PE6 series or the PE8 series, as they are switched. Some models you can control them through Telnet, and some models also is equipped by DB9 ports for control. We are also using over IP control for our audio mixer using TCP protocol. Now, since we are covering devices controlled over IP, let me run down quickly through the protocols that we support at the moment. We support TCP, UDP, Telnet, OnViv, PJ-Link, and HTTP. Also, if you are using a lot of KNX devices, you can also control KNX devices at the moment. Devices that are controlled by IR using our IR emitter, we have the display, and then we have the Blu-ray player, and we have our Apple TV as well. Now, we have a few control interfaces throughout the room. We have 3 keypads that are located in different locations in the room. There is one next to me right here. There is one next to the moderators, and there is one at the entrance for the room. Now, the steps to deploy any project with our control system is, if you tried it before or if you don't, first step is to connect all your hardware devices. The second one is to create the profile or program the control system itself. And the third thing is to download it on your control device, and you can control the entire room. Now, we have a full series of video tutorials on the control system programming. You can click on this link to access those videos. Okay, now I'm gonna walk you really quickly through our control interface for the control room, so that you can have a quick view on how does it look like. Now, this is the control interface we have for the room. Each of one of those buttons, once you click on it, it's just gonna take you to a different mode of the room. So it's sending a lot of commands to different equipments in the room to go into that specific mode. So for example, if I click here on this mode, which means like you're gonna watch a video or something, it's just gonna turn off all the lights. It's just gonna play the video on the video wall as well as the projector. Each one of those buttons can just immediately or instantly, send multiple commands to multiple devices in the room. Now, those, as you can see here, or you can figure out, is for volume control. And then you have more detailed control through the room. So here you have light control. If you click on it, you can turn on or off different lights in the room, or turn them on. So you have individual control for each different zone in the room. in terms of lights. For the camera control, you can see here you can move the camera PTZ from here. I think it's the, now since you're seeing the multi-viewing, it's the camera on the bottom. And you can see it's moving slowly. You can zoom it in and out, you know, throughout this control interface. The other camera as well have, as you remember, it has the tracing functionality. So if you turn it on, I think the camera here should be tracking like the speaker. Is it? I think it is. Yes. So if you turn on the tracing, so you turn off like the tracing functionality. Again, you can have full control over everything. You know, like this is the interface that we created for controlling the audio mixer that we have here. And you can see you have individual control for every single audio channel. Now, even the terms of video distribution here, you know, like if you go to more details, you can actually switch any input to any output at any time by clicking here on the inputs and clicking on the output, and it's just gonna move the input to any output you want. The same here for the aircon. You can control the temperature of the room. You can turn it on or off at any time. Okay, so this is a rough idea on how our control interface look like. So let's go back again to our presentation and walk you through how did we route the audio in the room. So the first thing we're using, this is the main component of the audio here in the room. We are using the TOA M-864D. And as you can see here, we have RCA input, we have Phoenix connector inputs, and the outputs are all in Phoenix connectors. So we had to decide how we're gonna send the audio to it and send the audio out of it. So first, we have two wireless microphone receivers. One of them I'm using here. The wireless microphone receiver come with a 1/4-inch jack in the back of it, and we wanted to connect it to the mixer through a Phoenix connector in the Phoenix connector inputs. Now, the other devices such as the Blu-ray player, the Apple TV, as well as our wall plate extender, we used our audio de-embedder. If you remember, we spoke a little bit about the audio de-embedder at the beginning, and we are using it here to take the audio from HDMI, and then we're using RCA cable to connect it. For the PCs, we are using 3.5 connecting into the audio output, and from the mixer side, we are using Phoenix connector. We have one connected also Phoenix connector to Phoenix connector in the Phoenix connector input on the audio mixer side. Now, in terms of outputs, we have one output running from the mixer side. So this is going to be a Phoenix connector to XLR, since we have our Yamaha audio amplifier is in XLR inputs. The other one, we are running a Phoenix connector to 3.5 audio into our video conference PC, which enable us to send audio out. So right now we covered all the audio outputs, inputs and outputs, and how we are routing it. The last thing I want to cover really fast is one of the success story we're having, where it's in the meeting room and they wanted to deploy a video wall. This case is in Siberia, and the main requirement for the end user was they wanted to deploy a video wall in their meeting room. They wanted to look stunning. They wanted in 4K resolution. They wanted the best of the best. So the way we encountered this is we used one of our metric switchers that supports 4K along with some of our other gear. So you can see here what we use from our side is our VK2100. It's exactly our control system, which is controlling this entire room. We have the VM6809H, which is our 4K video metric switcher with video wall support, as well as the seamless switching functionality. We have few extenders, and then we have our audio de-embedder as well. kind of using it in the same way that we're using it here, since they also have audio mixer and amplifier. Now, to have more clear view on how it looks like, we have video source one, we have another video switch, we have Apple TV, wireless calibration system, a media player, all running into our VM6809H as inputs. Then we have the outputs are in HDMI running straight into the video wall. Now we use the audio in the embedder on some of the outputs, and then we ran the audio out to the audio mixer and amplifier, and from the amplifier to the speakers. The control system here controls the video metrics. It controls the audio mixer over LAN, the same way we are controlling it here. And then we are controlling the media player by IR. And then we have the keypad, the same way we are having the keypad here connected to the same LAN network of our control system. Now, you can see here the list of products that we used in this meeting room. You can contact us anytime for more information about all these products. The last thing, before we have this Q&A session, we will play you a video of that room, that meeting room for New Strategy Company. Please double click on the video to see it in full screen. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video that we just played from this meeting room. Now we are going to take Q&A. So please drop down your questions in any time, and we will get back to you right away. Sabrina, can you help? How? Question tab? Okay. Okay, so the first question we have is what do we mean by true 4K? Okay, so for true 4K, we mean the resolution is 4096 by 2160, but not only that, it should be in chroma subsampling. It should be 444 as well as 60 hertz. So if we can put all this together, it's gonna be true 4K. Now, this is not widely used, of course, but there is now a lot of video content, or even like if you're talking about raw footage, you know, that is coming out of some of the 4K gear that is out there. Maybe it will be in that format. And of course, that requires much higher bandwidth to process this signal and to send it from one place to another. Okay, the second question we have is what about the capabilities for recording sessions and on online streaming with multiple remote users. Uh, I'm not sure. I'm assuming this question maybe will be for the VP, uh, but maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Um, for the capability of recording, right now, for example, what we are using here in our room for recording is we are running the video that is coming out of our modular metrics to our PC, and we are doing all the recording there. You know, this session is fully recorded, you know, and can be shared with everyone. But in terms of recording on any of our hardware at the moment, this feature is not available, but you can record through routing one of the outputs to a PC and record it out there. You know, this is what we are doing right now here in the room. It works perfect, you know, and I can record again, like if you saw, I can record for any of the camera. I can record a multi-view that is coming out of our VP series, you know, so this is one part of the question. Now, um, online streaming with multiple remote users. Okay, now for the VP right now, you can remote stream to up to 5 remote sites. But again, you know, like if this is not exactly what you need and you want to stream out to more remote users, you can use a platform like what we are using now, which is GoToWebinar, you know, or you can use any video conference system, and you can remote to as many remote users as you want without limitation. I hope this answered the question. If there is more questions regarding what about the capability for session recording and online streaming with multiple remote users, you can get back to us if you have more questions about that. The next question will be, can you share all videos you shared to us? Is it available on YouTube? Yes, of course, we have most of these videos available on YouTube. You know, you can we can share the links with you. You know, it could help you if you are promoting for a similar concept to be implemented at any site. If we are talking also about the session today, if you want the video for it, we can share it with you. Okay. The next question, do you have plan to use video over IP? Yes, of course. So right now we have the VE8900 and the VE8950. Those two products are our latest products for video over IP. Now, um, there are two models, one of them in full HD, the other one is in 4K. They both can stream video over a LAN network with also video support and unlimited distance extension since it's over IP. So again, if you are looking for video over IP, please look at the VE8900 or the VE8950. Okay, the next, um, does our system have SDK to connect and integrate? Or we have a meeting room management system. Um, so right now, if we are talking about drivers for equipments to be controlled, of course, our control system is loaded with drivers that can control multiple different systems that are out there in the room. But if you are talking about meeting management system or like a meeting scheduling system, then we need to verify more information about the system you are using and how can our control system communicate with this system, and then we can verify for you. So for this question again, does your system have SDK to connect and integrate with meeting management system? This question, we will contact you and get more information about your exact requirement, and then we will confirm for you and get back to you on that. Now, the next question is, can streamer used to stream for social media and Facebook and YouTube? Yes, 100%. So the UC3020 is actually mainly built for YouTube streamer and Facebook streamers. We're just utilizing it today in the way you are using it. We are seeing it, you know, which is to send back the video out. But of course, you can use it on social media. You can use it on YouTube. You can we are using a software called OPS, which is a great software that you can do all the customizations like you see, like in the video you are seeing right now of me. We have ATEN logo on top, you know, all these things is happening through this OPS software. And you can use it directly to connect it to your Facebook platform or your YouTube. So 100%, yes, the UC3020 is mainly this streamer is mainly for this application. So the next question is, how does UC3020 works, and what is the connectivity, and how does it capture video and where it's stored? Okay, so let's break it down one by one. So the UC3020 is basically a video capturing adapter. The connectivity is, one side is HDMI, and this is where you will connect it to your camera, you will connect it to any device that will be capturing the video. And on the other side is USB Type-C, which you will connect to your PC. Now, if your PC is not equipped by USB Type-C, we have USB Type-C to USB normal type adapter available also in the box. So USB Type-C will not be the bottleneck for you. And how does it capture video? There is a multiple ways that it can capture video, either through softwares like the software we're using now, which is OPS, or you can use any other software that you would like. Most important is that you have the adapter, you have a camera that connects to it by HDMI, and then on the other side, the USB Type-C. That's the side where you will connect it to your PC. So now, where is the video capture stored? Now, this will be up to you, your choice. If you are streaming directly up to online platforms like Facebook, like YouTube, it's gonna be stored there. But you can, at the same time, you can store it on your own PC if you want, you know. So this is gonna be your own choice. You can store it directly there, or you can store it on your PC. The next question is, okay, so how do you mix between the input with fade input and fade output? Okay, for this question regarding, I'm assuming like this one is, how do we mix between the inputs with fade in and fade out? I'm assuming this is regarding our audio routing. And if it is about our audio routing, then we will share all the information about our the full schematic about how we route the audio in the room, as well as if you need more information about how we are controlling this audio mixer, we will share it with you. So what is the next question is, what is the requirement if one of the monitor installed in the meeting room is touch model? Okay, so the requirement, if it's touch model, you need to first send to it video signal. So if you want to send to it video signal, you can send video signal to it using any of our video extenders. Okay, but since it is touch enabled, you will probably, or usually you will need USB connectivity too. So the first thing you want to think the first thing you want to look at in our portfolio is using a video extender with USB. Other than that, I think you should be fine. You just need to look at the point where you will connect you will have your USB wall plate, and you can put your HDMI wall plate on top of it and make this maybe a specified point for people to connect their laptops to the interactive touch panel. Now, if you want to switch between multiple inputs to the interactive touch panels, then maybe you can look into our VP1920. If you are talking about two inputs, one interactive touch panel, and you want to switch between them, that could be a good solution. Now, if you want even more inputs and USB connectivity, and you want to build maybe like a matrix of video and USB connectivity, maybe you can look into our video over IP extender, the VE8900 and the VE8950, because both of them can extend video signal and can also extend USB signal. So you need to kind of narrow down what kind of connectivity you'll need, how many inputs you want to send to this interactive touch panel, and then we can build for you the solution. Now we always welcome, like that you get us involved in early stages in building solutions. We can test it for you here, make sure that everything works, and help you in the full design aspect of it. So please feel free, to contact us at any time, and we will provide all the support that you need. Okay, I think we'll be taking more questions. Are there any more questions? I think okay, I think we received all the questions. Okay, we will look again through all the questions, and we will make sure that we return all the answers to you in a private mail. Um, Again, I would like to thank you everyone for okay, there is one more question coming up. Okay, the question here is we need to repeat the license on the VK. Okay, so again, regarding the licenses on the VK, we have the two main models that let me bring the slide here. Yeah, please do. So okay, so again, for the VK 2100, we ship by default with two licenses. For the VK 1100, also the same by default with two licenses. Now for the VK 0100 and 0200, since it is a touch, a keypad already, so we do not ship with any license. Now, if you want to add license, you can just buy the license at the normal license price and add it to it. And it's the same. You can connect up to 10 different viewers, whether it's iOS device, tablet, um, or a Windows viewer, like the one that we ran earlier. But in general, for the VK 0100 and 0200, they do not ship with any viewer licenses. Since it is a keypad, and we normally expect that they will just connect the keypad and use it directly. But if they need licenses, then you can just buy the licenses for it. We normally, like by default, out of the box, it does not include any licenses. Okay, so we have another question here. For the VM3404H, okay, so there is a good question here. Because we are talking about the VM3404H. Okay, this is the HDbaseT metrics. And let me go back really fast to the slide where we put the comparison together. Okay, so the HDbaseT metrics, I don't know if you're familiar with it or you've seen it before, but on the output side, it has HDMI and HDbaseT. Now, let me clarify one thing. The HDMI output will not support video wall. You will need to use the HDbaseT outputs with our HDbaseT enabled receivers, which is the VE8005 or the VE816, and then you will enable the video wall functionality. The main reason is that the scaler itself is not embedded inside the box, so the scaler is actually in the receiver, and once you use the VE805 or the VE816, this is when you are going to enable the video wall functionality. Other than that, it's gonna be a direct connection one-to-one, and then the HDMI output is actually mirroring the HDbaseT output. Okay, so again, the HDMI output on the HDbaseT matrices, the VM3404H and the VM3909H will not support a video wall. You have to pair it with the right receiver. I hope this answers the question. We have another very good question here is the VE8900 can integrate with the VK? And the answer is yes. Right now, you can integrate it with the VK. You can control the entire system through our control system. So it will not be a problem. If you want to control the full system of the video over IP extenders, the VE8900 and the VE8950, right now it's enabled. So anytime, if you need more information on this, if you want the code for it, if you want to know more information about the connectivity of it, please let us know and we will share all the information with you. Okay, so this was the last question, is the VE8900 integration with the VK, and the answer is yes. We will share with you right after the session. We will be contacting you and sharing with you more information about how you connect it and what kind of functionality you can get out of this connectivity. Okay, I think there is no more questions. Anybody? If anybody wanted to send any question? Okay, I think there are no more questions. So again, I would like to thank everybody for making the time for today's session. Really appreciate your time. I would like to thank all the team here that got involved in arranging and preparing for this seminar. Thank you very much and have a good day.